emotions can get the better of us, can't they?
Yeah, these uncontrolled emotions that we don't know what to do with, that we don't know what to feel, and we push them away.
And they can just overtake our lives completely and just make us feel like really terrible.
Really anxious,
Yeah.
frightened. All of these emotions that we can feel on a day-to-day basis, we might not really need to feel them. That's what we're going to be exploring, isn't it, today?
So stick around and join us in this week's episode of
Get Real with the English Sisters,
where we're chatting about how to master your emotions. Maybe easier said than done.
Maybe easier said than done, exactly.
As usual, but I think there are tricks to it.
There are definitely tricks, and there are ways to uncover these emotions to make them more bearable, to make them more understandable, more relatable. Learn how to express them, I think.
I think the main trick, of course, is accept them.
Accept them for what they are, yeah. Understand that they're there.
Because once you accept them, then your mind like has peace. It's like gives you peace of mind because you say, okay, I'm feeling this. Total acceptance.
That's right, yeah. It's not easy though, is it? You know, you've got to accept what you're feeling, and sometimes you don't want to feel that. Let's say you're in a relationship that you kind of, you know that it's not going the way you want it to go. It's not going the way perhaps your parents want it to go, and the whole world around you thinks, oh, you're great together. But there's a part of you that thinks,
why am I feeling like this?
Why?
Why are all these emotions coming over me so strong if I'm like supposed to be here?
yeah, well, maybe you're not being listened to the way you want to be. You know, you want the person that's with you to listen to you fully, and you feel as if you're not being heard.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can be really, difficult to ask your partner to have that conversation with them. But I think that if you understand that you're feeling emotions, the emotions that you're feeling are because you feel as if the other person isn't really listening to you, doesn't kind of get you, doesn't understand your point of view, then it is necessary for you to learn to verbalize how you're feeling. And that is not easy. We're not saying it's easy, but
it can be really scary as well.
Yes, it can be really, really scary.
Do you know why it can be scary? It's because you might think, well, then that person's just going to leave me then.
Yeah.
I mean, because most of us, we tend to catastrophize.
Yes, catastrophize, yeah.
So we tend to go to the worst thing possible that could happen. Maybe because you're thinking like that as well. Maybe you're already thinking that maybe we're not right and we're not the right fit.
And you've been trying to fit into that person's model
of
what they want, their partner to look like, but it just doesn't fit. Yeah, and you're trying to mold yourself and change yourself so much so that it's making you feel uncomfortable. Then that is the reason why I mentioned this thing, because this is quite a common issue, isn't it? In our lives in general. We're either trying to fit our parents, what our parents want us to be like and act like,
what our partners want us to be like and act like, or what our friends,
what in general society kind of says, hey, you're doing this, that's who you are now, maybe, that and that.
And this can lead to very strong emotions. It can even lead to depression, because if you feel that you're not fitting in and you're not really accepting your emotions, it can just go down to where you just start feeling really bad about yourself.
Yes, and then exactly, and that can also be that's a dangerous hole to go down if it's not So it's important for you to understand that there is a reason why.
Why am emotions?
Why am I feeling, sad or anxious?
Or angry.
Or angry, exactly. There is a reason why you're feeling these things. And it is your duty to yourself. I mean, I'm using the word duty, and I know that's really heavily charged, but I think I think we do have a duty to ourselves,
Yeah.
to our own minds and our own bodies, because we are important. We are so important that we owe it to ourselves, and it is like a duty. It's something that we must understand, to learn about ourselves and to understand that we owe it to ourselves.
Because I think most of us, we do put ourselves last. We don't, especially if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably one of these people that does tend to put yourself last and other people first.
Exactly, yes,
So-
because you're somebody that's interested in the mind,
yeah.
in anxiety, and you may be feeling anxiety, and this may be one of the reasons why you're feeling it.
Yeah.
Because you are not understanding the real reason that's behind all of this. What's the root cause of it?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where it does help sometimes to write it down. So if you're feeling angry, you write down, I'm feeling angry. Then why am I feeling angry? Ask yourself, just keep going down. And because of this, because of that. Maybe it's because you feel it's of your parents, your partner, whoever. But in the end, it's like what Yutka says, it's your
Yes.
duty to say, okay, well, what am I going to do about this? These are the emotions I'm feeling. Am I just going to carry on feeling these without addressing them?
No.
Really, it's because you're like your subconscious or unconscious mind, and your body is giving you these emotions as a warning, but also to help you understand how you're feeling and what to do to feel better and do better.
Exactly. They are like unconscious signals that keep on
They're
coming.
not supposed to be ignored.
You might not be able to sleep because of it.
Yeah.
You might not be able to, you just feel anxious. I mean, we all know this feeling. It's not a nice feeling. And it hangs around, and it is important for you to understand that. And be able to go through it, like what Violetta was saying. Perhaps writing it down can be really, really helpful.
Yeah,
because
journaling does help. Or
Yes.
even if you don't want to journal, just write down specifically what emotion you're feeling.
Yes.
And then why you're feeling it. And then just sit with it. Just sit with it and say, I accept you as an emotion. I'm just going to accept you. And you may start crying. You may have a really physical reaction to it. And just let it be, and just hold the space for yourself.
Yeah.
And kind of enjoy it, revel in it. Just say, yes, this is the emotion I'm feeling. I'm just going to accept you. And do you know what? You're probably going to be feeling a lot better afterwards. And then your mind will be clearer. And then you'll be able to, in a way, master that emotion and say, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do now. You might need to, head for a divorce, or a split from your partner, or change where you're working or something. It could be something quite drastic that we're quite scared of.
Very scared of, but it could also not be that drastic, and it could also be just a question of communicating how you're feeling.
Yeah.
So it could be, let's separate. Okay, let's take time out from each other. Let's
Because what happens is, if you don't express your emotions like what Yuka's saying, in the end your mind goes wandering, and it goes to these really extreme solutions.
But there are also solutions that may not be quite as extreme. It may be just a question of speaking up for yourself. As a very important person that you are. It is your duty to speak up, and you have the right to express what you're feeling. And if you feel that you're not being respected for whatever reason, at work, at home, and it doesn't really matter your age, then you have a right to speak up.
Yeah.
And to say, I feel this. And nobody can really get offended, because it's you're starting with the word I. And when you're not attacking everyone, you're not saying, you don't do this, you don't listen to me. It's very important that you start with the word I. I feel this way. I feel that at times perhaps my words are not received in the way that I want them to be received. I feel as if perhaps you're not understanding me fully. Let's discuss how I can explain myself better. That way you're not attacking anyone, are you?
Exactly, yeah. Because if you go with a you, then the other person is just going to completely shut off, and then it will end up in extremes.
Yes, yes. After all,
It's
we
a
are
miscommunication.
discussing.
It's a miscommunication that leads to all these extreme solutions.
Yes.
When we actually sit at a table and communicate properly,
Exactly. We can
usually
avoid
we
a
can
lot
avoid conflict and
Yes.
and settle things, and then it's a lot.
And it all
better.
starts by mastering your own emotions, by understanding and by writing down, if you want, that because I am angry, writing a because I am sad, and then put a because I am anxious, because maybe you don't know the because of feeling anxious, because anxiety is one of those things that, creeps into every aspect, and it's like
Yeah.
it can be just a feeling, and you may not be quite sure why, because you think things seem to
But
be
sometimes
going
when
well.
you do that, when you do take a pen and a paper and you just
Yes.
brain dump, or do it on your device if you want, or notes or something, you
Yeah.
just in the end you just accept what's coming to you, and you'll notice you'll be starting, you just almost like doodling. It'll be
That's it.
almost like automatic.
Yes.
And then you can even, if you want, you can do like a little can't remember what those called, those mind maps, where
Yes.
you have all the little arrows,
they're
and you
fun.
do everything that goes all in all directions, and you can put yourself in the center and then just say what's bothering you.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Draw a little diagram, and you put, you're in the center, that's me. And then all the reasons why, with little arrows, of why you might be feeling that particular emotion that you can detect. Like today. So today you're feeling sad. Okay, little arrows. Why? Because loneliness could be. Because this hasn't financial distress, because this, because that, and some of them you are able to find small solutions to them that can
Tiny steps that you can take to help
we're not saying it's all going to happen, miraculously,
overnight.
but somehow having it put down on your device, like what Violetta was saying, on a piece of paper, it's almost like a detachment occurs within your mind.
Yes, a disassociation.
Yes, you can detach from it and see things that were just unclear.
Yeah,
because
things
thoughts
that's a
are
bit
not
clearer.
tangible. Feelings, you can't really touch them, can you? But if they're on paper, you can start understanding them if you know how to label them, I guess. You know what they are: anger, sadness. Some of it is just, what's that word called? What was that?
Nonchalant.
No, nonchalance. It was like a feeling of just
Apathy.
apathy. Yes, sometimes it could be just something that you say.
Numbness. you mean.
Yes, exactly. Like, I
Numbness.
don't have the energy that I used to have, or the excitement that I used to feel. And you can write those things down and try and just see them clearly, not find solutions.
No, also,
No.
and sometimes you can do like the way Katie Byron, she always says, turn it around. A famous psychologist, author, and very coach or whatever, mental coach.
Very
She's
esteemed.
very esteemed.
Yes.
She always says, turn it around. So if you say it's your mother, turn it around. Is it my mother really? Ask yourself what it is. What is it, the relationship between you? Just, start questioning things, and then you'll find that, yeah, maybe your mum is mean to you, but maybe you're also mean to your mum. Or, maybe your partner...
there's misunderstandings that have gone on, and maybe there aren't. Maybe it's just
maybe
time for you
it's
to see each
one-sided,
other
but
less.
it's time for you to maybe
Yeah.
cut the umbilical cord and be a bit more, like what your cousin, see yourself less, or act a bit more independent, or if it's your partner, whatever. But if you start taking charge of your emotions,
Yes.
then they're not just like, they're there for a reason. They're not just there for no reason.
And they're
don't
connected
just come.
to your body.
Yes.
So it is important, because these emotions that you feel over time can transform into disease in your body as well, pains and headaches and other things that are even worse, like high blood pressure, and there's so many things, that are connected to your mind. So it is really important for you to be able to understand the reasons why you're feeling.
Yeah, and if you're like feeling overwhelmed as well, just one of the emotions is overwhelm, just write that down, and then just take a deep breath and just think, well, okay, one step at a time, and all the changes because sometimes you're facing big changes in your life for your family and for yourself.
Yes.
But if you take one step at a time and you say, okay, I'm going to accept the emotions I'm feeling. It's normal to feel like this. You may have grief, you may have loss, a sense of loss, of grief, of anger, whatever. But if you just accept the emotions and the changes that you need to make, they kind of take care of themselves if you just take one small step at a time, and things do sort themselves out when you're in a better mental space, headspace. So it is important to, to like almost take care of these emotions, give them a little cuddle, say, hey, I'm here for you, I'm listening to you.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Look after them, sort of, as to say, instead of pushing them to one side, say, hey, hello. Yeah. Take a moment today to look. I'm gonna read you today. I'm gonna try and understand you. I'm gonna try and listen to what you're telling me today. Instead of just pushing them, shoving them under the carpet and ignoring them day by day by day.
And they get stronger and
numbing
stronger
yourself.
Until they say, hey, I'm here, listen to me.
Listen to me, yeah. Now today you're going to finally take a moment to listen to them, and you can do that in the morning when you wake up, instead of grabbing your device. You can take a moment to see how you're feeling. Or perhaps, after work.
Yeah, just check in with yourself.
Just check in, yeah, just a few moments.
Yes.
Definitely important to do.
It's so important.
And it's important for you to realise that you don't have to find solutions, because you can say, I know why I'm feeling stressed. I've got this financial debt. Yeah. And there is no solution to that. Look, we're not saying look for a solution. Just understand why you're feeling that way. Just understand just give it a name. Just give it a name. Try and understand it. Say, okay, it's anger. It's sadness.
Yeah, because then it all becomes like normal. It just becomes like, yeah, okay, so what? No big deal. I'm feeling these things.
Yes.
I'm going to look after my emotions today. I'm going to look after myself. Maybe you need a little bit of time out, or you need to have a little chat with a friend or something, but just accept them. And then when acceptance brings very good things in your life.
It does.
It does.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And everything becomes clear all of a sudden. Okay. Let us know what you think. Do please come and see the video on YouTube as well, where we've got our little matching outfits.
Yes.
Dressed in blue today.
Yes.
And for no particular reason.
No.
The sun is shining.
Yes,
and
it is. It's all very
and just
random.
Listen to us wherever you get your podcasts, and wishing you all a lot of love and self-acceptance. I think the world would be all a better place if we give ourselves self-acceptance. Lots of love and smiles from the English sisters. Bye for now.
Bye.